everybody. It's Robin, and we are live, of course, talking about the battle. Now, I am, of course, over in YouTube, so let me pull that up so I can read the comments. I want to make sure that I can respond to your comments as I talk about the battle and what happened on last night. All right. Hopefully you guys hung in there like I did and you watched it. But before we jump into the battle, this is all in fun. I love Pastor John P. Key and I love Bishop Hezekiah Walker. All right. So let me just put that out there. This is all in fun and what we can learn from the battle last night. So let's get started. All right, y'all. Listen, God is good. I had a wonderful weekend, but I'm really saying God is good because your girl has a show sponsor. What? Yes, I'll be talking more about it, but let me just start off with by showing you these wonderful eyeglass frames. Yes, I have a new sponsor that provides eyeglass wear. Yes, isn't it beautiful? So, now I'm going to try to have a pair of frames that match every outfit. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. But I'm telling you, you got to speak those things. You all know I told you back in November that I was going to have my own show and that I was going to have sponsors. And listen, I am putting it in the atmosphere and God is doing what he does. And that is wowing me. Yes, so these are my first pair of official sponsored frames that I am wearing. So I have on black and white today. So I thought I would wear my black and clear frames. I hope that you guys like them. So regardless if you like them or not, I'm just going to be modeling different frames. And so I will send you all information. But my sponsor is Acre Optique. So let me type that in over here in the comment section so that you guys can go check them out, of course. There you go. And I'll be showing, some of their commercials and promos and all that good stuff as we move along in our in doing live videos. Okay, all right. So I am excited, you guys. I thought that the battle last night really provided a way for us to just have some fun, right? To just have some fun. I'm going to switch out my iPad here for my laptop so that I can better read the comments and see what is going on in the comments here. All right. So Robin Lynn says it was great. There's Cedric. Hey there's Cedric. Glad to see you on. There's Rhonda. Hello, hello, hello. So let me just start this off with saying that I did watch the Teddy Riley and Babyface debacle, which was the first night. And then I watched it again when it was a hit. That's right. It represented who they are, and that's hit makers. So I had big expectations for last night, you guys. Yes, I had big expectations. What am I'm missing? Oh, put my computer on my notes. Sorry, you guys. I had big expectations for last night. So everybody, let's just go ahead and clear the air. Put in the chat box number 1 if you are Team Hez, or if you were Team Hez, and then put a number 2 if you were, what's the other person's name that was Team 1 is a number 1 is for Team Hez, and a number 2 is for the other person. I forget his name. I'm all righty. Pastor John P. Key. Of course, I love Pastor John P. Key. I love I think my favorite songs from John P. Key, Jesus is Real, Wash Me, Stand, Strength, all of those. To be honest with you, in my iTunes folder on my smart devices, I must have about 8 of his albums. And as he said, he has 40 years worth of hits. So he was ready for last night. All right. So, let's see. Cedric is saying number 2. So, of course, he's going to lose again because that's just what, Cedric has a thing about that. Tawanda Cole, let me put my glasses on. Look, I got to put them on now to really see. Tawanda Cole says she is team 2, John P. Key. Rhonda, oh my God, Rhonda is saying number 2 as well. Well, listen, that's why we all have to grow, right? We all have to grow. It takes time. Wisdom comes over time. So I'm going to give you all that liberty. So I am team Hez all of the way. So I'm not going to be on long because if you guys, in fact, if you are subscribed to my email list, and I want to make sure that you are, let me just give this to you. Please, please, please text my last name, W-A-R-E, to the number 22828. And that way, follow the prompts and you will be on my email list and you'll get my notifications. So what I'm about to share won't be a surprise to you. I actually have a webinar that I have to be on at 3 p.m. So I am not going to be on long with you all talking about the battle, but I did want to at least get on here at 2 o'clock. So, if we don't finish, I can get back on later tonight. But I did want to at least start the conversation. Oh, Lord, Cedric is saying I stick with the originators. The man sampled from Unc Key, whatever. It doesn't even matter. That's because John P. Key's old. So, Hez is young. And so, he was honoring his forefathers. I'm just teasing. But anyway, I did learn some things. So I got some lessons that I'm going to be sharing with you all on tonight. But of course, you are watching me here on YouTube. So please, please, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Yes. And then hit the bell so that you are alerted when I go live. I do not see Kim on here. And so y'all make sure you hit her up and let her know that I am live because she gets her notifications typically for YouTube, and then she'll jump on. But here we go, you guys. I'm so excited. Now, I'm a trooper. So I was able to stick it out. When it first got started, they had some bumps, and I'm not talking about speed bumps. They had full blown out stops because the sound gave them an opportunity. I don't like to say the word challenges, but it really did, right? It gave them an opportunity. And so, to be honest with you, they never really did get the sound worked out. So I was talking to a friend this morning, referencing back to the Teddy Riley and Babyface debacle. Roland Martin, whom I love, Roland Martin did a full video teaching for free on how to use the equipment. Those guys are studio guys. So this whole online streaming thing, that's new. It's new for a lot of people. In fact, I was teasing and I said, this is one time where the church really should have an upper hand, but it really didn't work out that way because, of course, John P. Key and Hez are the church and they had yet opportunities with it. But, I stuck it out because I love their music and I wanted to be blessed. So I did. I had a girlfriend text me last night and she said, I'm done. I'm out. I cannot do it. But I did. I suffered through the dilemma of the sound. So once you got through that, so there's our lesson. That's our first point is make sure you understand the technology. And if you don't understand the technology, then get someone who does. Now I'm not saying that their teams didn't know about the technology, but I was pretty amazed that they went as long as they did and there was no mention to, we hear you guys in the comments that something is wrong with the sound. Yeah. So I don't know what that was about. I was a little shocked. Okay, there she is. Chicago girl is there. Good. I see you. I was a little shocked that the team, it appeared to me, I can't prove it, but it appeared to me that the team wasn't watching on their own devices. So that's our first lesson. Make sure you know the technology, and have your team watching what your attendees are watching, right? I always make things about teaching or training. So make sure you've got somebody on your team that is having the same experience as those that are watching you, so that you're not caught off guard, okay? And now, let me just throw this in here as far as their team watching. I felt like they talked too much. Yes, I felt like they talked too much. Um, I get that they wanted to set up each song, but they talked a lot. So they were very, and I guess that's what we do in church, right? That's why when you hear churches say, oh, we can do church in 60 minutes, all churches can do church in 60 minutes if they cut out the talking. Yeah. Now, sure, there's some things that you do need to talk about, but every single thing that you talk about in church doesn't need to have 5 to 7 minutes. All right. So, I would challenge you, yes, to be cognizant of the time. Okay, let me see. Twanda says, I stayed the entire time as well. The audio wasn't the best. However, I stayed because of my love for gospel music. That's right. Cedric said, tech people come here. Almost took me out. I love it. Let's see. Yeah, Twanda says, I have a point. That it was too much talking. It was. And you know what? I think some of it might have been nervousness because it's a new platform, particularly for John P. Key, because he really did a lot of talking. All right. So now, number 2. If y'all keep up with them, I'm supposed to have 7 points, but you know me, I may end up with 12. But number 2 is I felt like they over spiritualized it. Now, I was the main one on social media when I did my posts, and I said to my followers, don't be, all cranky about this. Don't over spiritualize it. It is a battle. It's done in fun. It's done in jest. It is a battle. Well, what happens? We log on, and the first thing John P. Key starts rattling off about is that this is not a battle. I literally said, what in the world, Father, is he doing? When the kingdom steps out into the world, we're supposed to bring light. The way you bring light, yes, is to be received. When you step out into the world and you immediately start going the churchy route, it throws people off. And I'm telling you, to have John P. Key sitting there, for the first, I bet he did it for the first, don't y'all come for me, but I'm just telling y'all what I watched. So for the first, 5 minutes, all he talked about was that this was not a battle. This was not a battle. But he's the main one that on his social media, he said, I've been called out. I've been called out. And so I accept the challenge, from Bishop Hezekiah Walker. I'm not afraid. I got hits from 40 years back. That's battle talk. That is battle talk. So that kind of, threw me off a little bit as well. All right. So number 2, make sure that you understand what you've signed up for. This was a battle. It was done because of what Teddy Riley and Babyface had done. And it was wonderful. The kingdom, the gospel, hats off. Our gospel community got a lot of love from the Maddie Moss Clark story, even though it was called the Maddie Moss and Denise Clark story, even though it was called Clark Sisters. I loved it. I've watched it now probably about 6 or 7 times. So now this is, another opportunity that the gospel community got some light. And so I thought that was wonderful. And so, to go back and forth about that we don't battle and that we're all here together, that's not what this was about. This was a battle, and we all knew that it was done in love. All right. All right, let me see what y'all saying over here. Okay, Selena says they talk too much and they played the songs too long. Wow, I didn't really think about that because I enjoyed the songs, but I will say this. Well, let me see. I don't want to get ahead of my team, get ahead of myself. Let's see, number 3. In speaking of it being a battle, I felt like my understanding of battles is if somebody plays a song that is, from 1980s, then the other person is supposed to respond with a song from 1980s. Not somebody plays a song from 1980 and then somebody plays a song that they want to cut with Fred Hammond. So, yeah, that's what I heard. So I was a little, disappointed in that because I honestly wanted them to start with the old hits, and then work their way up to current days because they both have great songs, even that are still current and in rotation. All right. So, but I'm just saying, oh Lord, Pastor Philip said he missed it. Well, it's still on Instagram. Look, all 4 versions of it, or 3 versions of it, right? All 3 versions of it. So, number 4, I thought that it lacked strategy. Yeah, I thought that it lacked strategy. So I would have loved, I think it would have flowed better if it had had a strategy. If they had said, okay, you guys, we're battling it out and we're going to start with songs from 1980 and older. All right. And then we'll go into 1990s, we'll go into 2000s, or whatever, so that we could have prepared our minds more so for what was coming ahead. So that was number 4, is to have strategy. All right. Number 6 is their catalogs are so amazing. So the entrepreneur in me, even though it was a battle and it was on Instagram and it was fun and all that stuff, the entrepreneur in me, I would have had a link that I would have been able to give to all those. Let me see, I think 95,000 on the first version, 95,000 people. I would have been able to give them a link that would have led them to purchase all those albums. Yeah, I would have said, put your money where your mouth is and purchase. And then we'll take a percentage and we'll donate that to, XYZ. Yes, that's what I would have done. So that's number 5. I would have monetized the fact that they both have major catalogs. Number 6 is everybody was kind of making a big deal saying that John P. Key writes his songs and Bishop Hezekiah Walker doesn't. Well, my point in that is, who cares? Right? Who cares? However you reach success, as long as it is honest, as long as, it blesses people, who cares? I remember when I was, going through my situation of when I was downsized from my dream job, and I didn't understand the value of the gift of administration. And so I thought at that time that unless you were a preacher or a singer, that there wasn't really any value in the kingdom for you. Well, now, of course, you see that I have since become wiser, and I have, been able to monetize my gift of administration. And so now here I sit during a pandemic and I'm doing very well, right? I've not, suffered like a lot of entrepreneurs because I have already monetized my gifts, and I've done it online. And so if anything, the interest in what I do, the interest in my services, which is why I can't be on past 2:30 because I need to get myself ready for the 3 o'clock. But the interest in the services that I offers, they've gone up. I'm able to reach a new audience because there's a whole new audience looking for me, because that audience wasn't ready for online technology for ministry. And so because that's what I do, and I'm all over as far as using keywords and branding myself in that space, I am reaching new clients. So don't get caught up in where John P. Key writes all his stuff and Bishop Walker doesn't. They both have experienced extreme success. And let me just put this out here. I don't even know what point this is, y'all. John P. Key, though he is great, musical genius, again, I love his songs, he stayed pretty much in the church world. Whereas Bishop Hezekiah Walker has gone more global and has a heavy footprint in the marketplace. I mean, you all do know that he is called the Bishop of Hip Hop. So he never ran from what was culturally relevant. He didn't say, I'm just going to stick with church. He embraced, he's in New York City, right? So hip hop was born in New York. And so, and if it was born somewhere else, don't y'all email me because, I don't really know. But, I do know that that's where them Salt and Pepper Girls were from. So in my mind, it was born in New York. So he took advantage of his environment and he took the ministry to them. And so now, as a result, some 20, 30 years later, he has a major footprint in the global marketplace versus John P. Key. All right. So I'm just saying, I love it. So I don't know what point that is. But let's just say that is number 6, I think. All right. So do you? That's the point. Do you? Don't get caught up in, well, people say I'm not legit because I didn't do it this way. All right. All right. Let's see. Number 8. I love this one. What I learned from last night is that practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Listen to what I'm saying. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. I wish that they had practiced it until they had perfected it and then practiced it some more. So once they had perfected it, then practice it some more now that you've got it perfected. And then that way, when they came on live with us, they didn't have to go through that whole learning curve. When Bishop Walker, when he shut the broadcast down, because Instagram it will only let you stay live for an hour, and so he told Pastor Key, this is about to end, so we'll log out and then come back in. And so Pastor Key said okay, and then Bishop Walker said, we'll come in on your thread. Well, it's obvious that Cedric, he didn't know what that meant. Yeah, Cedric wants to do all this talking about John P. Key. And I love John P. Key. But either he or his team didn't really know what that meant, because when he came back on live, they proudly typed and pinned a comment that said, we're waiting on Bishop Walker to come in the room. As we're reading comments from Bishop Walker saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Yeah, let me put my glasses on and see what you got to say about that. Cedric says, Key is a stronger mentor and teacher than entertainer. I don't know about that. Bishop Walker is an amazing mentor. I had the opportunity to go out on the road with him for 2 weeks, actually 4 weeks, as a part of Horizon How Sweet the Sound. And he mentored those college choirs or even community choirs that participated. He was an amazing mentor. I love John P. Key, but my thing is, what's he gonna, I guess he can mentor for sure. I'm gonna leave it alone, but I wanted to talk about that little man in that costume that he brings out. What is his name, y'all? I don't know, but I've never really understood why. What is the purpose of that little man in the little costume with the real big head that he brings out during his concerts? I don't know. All right. Pastor Jamal saying, I agree with Cedric. Yeah. Okay. Amen. So let's keep going. Now y'all made me lose my thought. Oh, he's saying, that, rap. Okay. It did start. Okay. He's saying Brooklyn or the Bronx. Okay. One of those places. I don't know. But anyway, when they came back on and Pastor John P. Key was hosting it and Bishop Walker joined his live, it was obvious. When Bishop Walker hosted it, there were like, what, 95,000 people watching. But when Pastor Key hosted it, there were like 50 some thousand, right? It was a significant difference. It grew, but it was a significant difference. And so the lesson in that is, when you understand what it is you bring to the table, then you get help so that you can make sure when you show up right. So I tell people this all the time. It doesn't matter that you may have stayed up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning to pull something off. The only thing that matters is that you delivered. All right? The only thing that matters is that you delivered. So when Pastor Key came back on and they typed that and pinned that comment that they were waiting on Bishop Walker, and Bishop Walker steadily just posted, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And now the people are all saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. They had to, I think they went back out again. I'm not for sure. But finally, he was able to get Bishop Walker on. And he even said, now for all y'all think I'm hating on Pastor John P. Key, I'm not. Because he said it himself. I don't know this stuff. He basically said that. I don't know this stuff, or I didn't know. He didn't know how it worked. Again, where's your team? Yeah. Y'all on my live talking about he's such a mentor. Where's his team? Because they should have been there saying, you have to accept him. You have to accept him. Hit it. You have to accept him. You have to accept him. All right? So, look, I'm just here teaching y'all the lessons that I learned from watching it last night. Again, great music. I love them both. But I'm just teaching about the lessons that I learned last night. And then so many people do this, you guys. But make sure when you're going live like that your camera is at your eye angle and not lower. Because what happens, you're looking down into the camera, and we in essence are looking up your nose. And in the marketing world, we call that nose casting. And we don't want to do nose casting. All right. So again, I thought it was a great battle. I felt like they waited a long time, to really bring out the good hits. I would have liked to have seen them sooner. And then, this is my last point. I felt like that they weren't aware about The Last Dance coming on, Michael Jordan's story on ESPN. Even I knew about that, and I watched it. So I logged off at 9 o'clock to watch The Last Dance, and they kept going. And so somebody told me today that they did play a lot of the hits that I said I missed in that last segment. Well, to me, why wouldn't you end it at 9 o'clock? You know that the whole world, quote unquote, they're waiting on The Last Dance. And so that's what we have to be careful of, that we're not so insulated, meaning that the people that are around us, that all they know is us and what we do. We need people that have marketplace experience so that they would have been able to say, now, we got to end this at 9 o'clock because everybody's going to be watching ESPN. And they may have done that, and they both may have said, we don't care. Well, from what a friend of mine said to me, those numbers went from like 70,000 to like 40,000. They really dropped. And so that's because people went to go and watch The Last Dance. And also, anything longer than an hour is really long. That's a long time. And the sound's not good. So we have to be honest with ourselves. As leaders, are we properly preparing ourselves? Or are we comfortable operating in our mediocrity? It takes no real effort to be common. No real effort. And so when you have glitches and, shortcomings that don't have to be, then that communicates that you're comfortable in mediocrity. And so these are just some of my lessons from last night. All right. Rhonda says somebody was there with John P. Key. Not sure who it was, though. Again, it was somebody that didn't understand how systems work. Unc still had a DAP machine. He sure did. I saw that. It was a lot of fun. Again, going back down memory lane, you all know that John P. Key recorded The Strength. Look, I have VHS tape. I've since, of course, bought the DVD, but he recorded Strength here in Atlanta at what we now know as the House of Hope or Greater Travelers Rest. Back then it was Cathedral of the Holy Spirit, but he recorded it there. And what, Dorinda Clark Cole was a part of that project. Regina Bell was a part of that project. Just amazing, amazing music. A week or so ago, I was on doing a live with Mark Clement, and Mark Clement is the videographer, the media team that produced Bishop Hezekiah Walker's Every Praise video, as well as Better, I think. So I'm both sides. I love Pastor John P. Key. I love Bishop Hezekiah Walker, but Bishop Hezekiah Walker for the win from last night. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out with me on today. Just having a little fun. Again, put in the comments what you learned, and hopefully, like, who do we think the next leaders or artists should be that battle? I think this is going to be something that's going to continue. So I don't know about you, but I'm looking for, I'd love to see the Winans. Yeah, I'd love to see the Winans, / Marvin Winans. Maybe battle. Let me see. Who could they battle? Who would have the hits like the Winans? Let's see. Let me see. I can't even think. Of course, I would love to see. Oh, I guess Commission could do it. I would love to see Marvin Sapp. And my pastor, maybe Bishop Paul Morton. Yep, I think that would be good. On the ladies' side of the spectrum, I would like to see, of course, my girl CeCe Winans. Would love to see her and Yolanda. I love both of their catalogs. I think it would be really, really good. Oh my gosh. Cedric said, I hope that we don't start a hooping battle. Absolutely not. I hope that we do not. Even though I did see a clip, I don't know if it's this year or if it was from a previous time, that there's a group going through like a reality show of teaching preachers how to preach and hoop. So I don't know. But I saw it. I didn't really listen to it. I was on social media on one of the networks. But I'm hoping that's something that I misunderstood when I was looking at it. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm getting ready for my webinar at 3 o'clock. If you're on my email list, you got an invite to it. Would love to have you join and watch it. So again, thank you to my new sponsors, Acre Optique, for my new glasses. Yep, I'm going to have different frames on moving forward, and I would love for you guys to go and support his business and let him know that your girl Robin sent you. All right. Again, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell to receive an alert. Oh, and also give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this conversation. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.